Yes. Okay. Let's get this going. I think I need the books. Probably should grab the books. What a week, what a week, what a week, what a week. Oh my god. This is my drink. This is my drink. Yeah, this is my drink. I definitely stuck it over here. Oh, I can take this off now, can't I? So I'm not going to be using a mask so that the deaf community can read my lips because I can't sign fast enough. Sorry. Anyways, so it's been a week. It has been a wild, wild week. Hi, Twitch. You're all messed up and like right in my face for some reason. Oh my God. Hang on a second, guys. This is just a mess. Needs to be further out. Can you help me with this?
Oh, God. Yeah.
It's like every which way but where I need it to be. That's too much. I don't want it close. Thank you. That's good. That's sort of good. I mean, up a little bit. Over a little bit. Whoa! Okay. Twitch has got the weirdest camera right there. Okay. Yeah, Cam is here. It has been a week. We need pop culture news. Pop culture news.
We saw leaked footage from the not footage, but shots from Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Luke Hemsworth and Matt Damon will be coming back.
Yes.
In their Asgardian play.
We already sort of knew that. They mentioned it on something else, I think. There is
in the movie.
There is a pop spoiler for WandaVision. It is very bright and a pale color of a character. That's all I'm going to say.
If you've seen it in episode 8, then you know what we're talking about.
Yeah. What else? Are there any other spoilers we have? Not spoilers. Any other news? Sorry, news.
Spider-Man motion capture suit spotted on set.
Oh, yeah.
Not really saying what suit it might be.
Yeah.
But if I had to take a wild guess, it is black and it is gooey.
Yeah.
And it might hint at a crossover between
a certain symbiotic.
Like No Way Home is really him getting trapped in the multiverse and he can't get back home?
Maybe.
Might be. We'll have to wait and see.
Pray for Texas.
Oh, man. Pray for Texas. Yeah, pray for Texas. What else? Any other news? Before we jump into it? It's been a weird week. Let's just jump into it then. Okay, first book on our list this week is Scott Anedito Morales and Leone, and we're talking about Star Wars High Republic. Now, this Star Wars High Republic comic is amazing. There is a lot of moving parts, a lot of Jedi characters, not too many. Hi, Mooplex. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Carl. Not so many that I don't like these characters. I actually really love them. And the current one, this Jedi, the new Jedi that just became got beyond Padawan and became a Jedi Knight, she's kind of amazing. And we're seeing them grapple with, some mysterious dark thing involving, I guess a farm is what they were investigating originally when things got sour. Yeah, and one of the twin Jedis is infected, they think. So it's been really interesting, and we're going to get a little bit of answers here, which is great. We also had a dead hut, and no explanation as to what killed it, but they thought it was very dark and weird. You never really see huts get killed all that often, save for the Return of the Jedi. So it was really weird. But this is a really, honestly, this is the best Star Wars comic on our shelf. And I'm going to say that with confidence, even though Yogi's probably going to throw something in my head for saying it's better than Darth Vader. But it really is the best Star Wars comic on our shelf. So you shouldn't be skipping it at all. Next is, this is my DC pick of the week, without a doubt. And who could have thought that it would be Infinite Frontier Zero, which is the primer to the New World. And so we had DC Comics Rebirth, before that New 52. this current stage of the world is going to be referred to as Infinite Frontier from here on out. And the reason being is, well, they sort of fixed and broke the multiverse at the same time. They've repaired the damage that Perpetua and good old Batman Who Laughs did to the universe. Meanwhile, it's been reformed, and now it's no longer 52 universes with 52 dark multiverses that are constantly being destroyed. Now it's infinite. There are infinite stories, and now everything is canon. Literally everything is canon in some other universe and part of an omniverse. And we don't know, but we assume that the omniverse includes us and would technically include every other story out there. So it's kind of an exciting time to be a DC fan. They've done something really, really different and fun, and I love it. So we're going to get more of that. This is really Wonder Woman kind of deciding if she should remain the amazing, like, beyond Omega level god that she was at the end of Dark Knight's death metal, or is she going to cast that off and go back to her friends and see what the Infinite Frontier holds? Well, we're going to wait and see. And we're going to get a little bit more answers as to what those two worlds were that are the center of this multiverse. One is an Elseworld, and the other one was an Omega world. Who's going to be on the Omega world? If you're a DC fan, you already probably see it coming. Yeah. Is it good? Yes, it's great. There are several stories in here they're going to go over that are pretty much setting the stage. One, I cheered, like I literally stood up and said yes, and then went back to my book, and it's one of my favorite characters being brought back from the dead. He's got kind of a bad beat. A certain red character that runs around with Red Hood. That's all I'm going to say beyond that. So go out and get it. It's amazing. It is definitely my DC pick of the week. It was outstanding. Next is, well, it's the Sensational Wonder Woman. And this is Phillips, Hetrix, and Louise. Now, I'm going to say, first of all, the art in this is absurdly cool. I loved every second of the art. You know what it felt like to me? It felt like that... God, what was it? What was the book that we reference all the time? The Marvel book that brought Conan into the universe? Far From Home? No, it's not Far From Home. No Road Home. No Road Home. So it felt like the art felt like No Road Home in the first Wonder Woman story, and it was great, like really, really good. The story, it was just kind of a reason for action, but the art was amazing. And then at the end of this, you get the prequel to the new Nubia comic, which I can't wait to see. So yeah, really, really awesome book. I would say don't skip this. It's almost a must-buy this week. Might have been my pick of the week, but there's so much good this week. Next is, I'm going to murder this name. Wilgos, Kumar, and Ferrado Jr. And we're talking about Man-Bat versus Suicide Squad. Now, if ever there was a book that I should hate, because frankly, as much as I like Kirk on the Justice League Dark, I don't much care for Man-Bat stories. I think they fall victim to the same sort of formula that Morbius has. Oh no, I've infected myself. I've got to cure myself. You know, that's usually what they fall victim to. Yeah. And so we do get part of that at the beginning, but then we get Suicide Squad. And anyone who knows me knows, not a big Suicide Squad fan either. They're okay, not my favorite team. But oddly enough, I read this and was hooked. It was a fun story. The art is really good. The story was fun. I wasn't bored. It didn't lull. And they're definitely setting the stage for that weird Suicide Squad versus Justice League book that was in Future State. So they're setting the stage for that. And one of my favorite Supermen that doesn't get enough love is also in this. So, yeah, if you read that Future State, you know who we're talking about. So come pick it up. It's great. Next is a limited series. I can't imagine why. Why wouldn't they do a constant story with these characters? Schmidt, McCown, Hitch, Vines, Olaf, and Sinclair. And we're doing the Crime Syndicate. Now, if you know anything about Earth 3 has the Crime Syndicate. They definitely died in Dark Knight's death metal, but Owlman, of all people, made the ultimate sacrifice to, like, save the universe. Because he's like, if I've been reborn multiple times, why would I want to change this universe? I could live forever, technically. And he's kind of genius for that one. So you get the Crime Syndicate. It's got Ultraman, which is Superman who eats kryptonite and enjoys kryptonite, and pretty much it's just evil versions of all your heroes that you love from the Justice League. That's what you're getting here. And this is their origin story again for the fifth time? Fifth time? I think. Fifth time? So yeah, I would say don't skip it. I had a good time. The art's pretty good. The storyline was actually surprising. I was a bit surprised by the end of it. And frankly, I have a thing for Owlman and Talon and the Court of Owls, which, by the way, Talon is in the new Suicide Squad. Oh, that we haven't got to that book yet. It's a different book. So I have a thing for those characters, so I kind of like them. So, okay. It's pretty good. If you want to read the Crime Syndicate, you won't be bored, is what I'm going to say. It's weird that we're getting a comic series on the Crime Syndicate when there's no room to grow with it. Those characters. Yeah, for good reason. Thompson, Pansica's getting a lot of work here. Ferreira, Mialo, and we're talking about Suicide Squad, The Infinite Frontier. Oh man. I know I said I hate Suicide Squad, and I don't hate it. I just don't like it. It's not my brand. It's my favorite. But I'm going to tell you flat out that this one actually pretty darn good. I had a good time with. Oh, this is the one with that Superman that I like. I got my Suicide Squad books confused. So don't skip on this one. On top of that, they're gonna be welcoming. If you can't tell, that's the Talon on there. Talon's gonna be joining the team, but this one is exceptionally brutal. We have an Amanda Waller that is, well, she's top tier mean, which is weird to say about Amanda Waller, who's already mean. This one has gone above and beyond, I think. And on top of that, we're going to get that Superman character that I kind of love that doesn't get enough play. And we're going to get Talon in play, which I really like the Court of Owls, and I don't know why. So anything with Talon in it's pretty cool to me. So honestly, had a good time. Definitely worth the price of admission. Like this book more than the other Suicide Squad Man-Bat book. Had a good time. I couldn't say you should skip it. You should definitely get on board with it. All the DC books this week are probably going to be buys. That's what I'm going to tell you. Next is V, Perkins, and Spicer, and we're talking about Swamp Thing Infinite Frontier. Now, we can't talk about a number one without spoiling a little bit of it. It's kind of hard not to. This one is absurdly cool for a lot of reasons. One, and this isn't a reason that it's cool because I'm kind of sad because I think Alec Holland maybe made the ultimate sacrifice in Dark Knight's Death Metal because we weren't sure if he was dead or not, were we?
He was like clinging. He
was hanging on for dear life in Dark Knight's Death Metal. But he might have made the ultimate sacrifice because it's looking like there's a new avatar of the Green, and his name is, dang, I forgot his name, Levi Kamai. And wow, that's a good name, Levi Kamai. I like that name. That is definitely a comic name. He's coming to terms with the fact that he might have some ties to the Green through some visions. Meanwhile, we get a new avatar of the desert that I don't really recognize. As a Swamp Thing fan, honestly, they're retooling the mythos ever so slightly and doing something a bit different, and it's fun. I read it and was instantly hooked, wanted to know more, and you should too. So if you're a Swamp Thing fan like I am, which I don't know how many of us are out there, I'm a giant Swamp Thing fan. I would have a Swamp Thing hat if somebody would make one. I would love it. Anyways, this will be on our shelf, and you get a number one with the mythos starting over with a totally new character, a first appearance. This is a must buy this week. Next is, oh God, was it good? Oh God. But again, yeah, okay, I'm a giant Batman fanboy too. Tinian the Fourth, Jimenez, Mori, and this is, man, Infinite Frontier Batman number 106. Now, there's a lot to unpack. First of all, Jimenez's art, he's been doing this entire run with Tinian the Fourth, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I believe so. He's next leveled his art. The art in this book looks like it's like 2 times what he's been doing. So I don't know what he did, but his art looks even better in this book. It was mind-blowing. We get a new look for Harley. We get a lot of a lot of characters are back in play. Batgirl is no longer she's hung up the cowl and she's back doing Oracle work, which is it's weird, but I like Oracle. I do love her as a super hacker. Barbara Gordon does that role well. Meanwhile, Batman, well, he's in play, but we also are starting to see the beginning of the Magistrate program, which was the evil program that they were fighting in Future State. So we get the beginning of that, and we get, it's a character I don't like. You like this character, though, don't you, Ken? Ghostmaker? Do you like that character?
Oh, not bad.
You get more of that character. I like his look, but I hate his name. That's just...
You know it's bad? It gives me Asbel vibes.
Yeah, it does. It does give me Asbats vibes. But his name is Ghostmaker. I'm sorry. That just sounds like Lazy Widowmaker or something. It's not that fun of a name. Like, just pick a lane. If you're going to go with ghost, do something campy and haunting. Okay. Also, if you're a ghost, well, okay. Anyways, so we get that character, and there's a lot of moving parts. We're going to see some other characters that are tied to Batman's mythos that are starting to come into their own. That's cool. And there's a mystery and a shocking death. I mean, shocking death. Was it this one? Oh, maybe it wasn't this one.
No, it wasn't the other one, right?
Oh, it was an Infinite Frontier, wasn't it? It was. Oh, you get the shocking death in Infinite Frontier. I've gotten my books confused. I'm sorry. You do get to see a new league. If you know, there are two big leagues in Batman's Shadows. No, League of Assassins, which is the main league that's always haunting stuff. And Ra's al Ghul was always complaining about the League of Shadows, which became a real thing during Tom King's run. So there's two leagues. No, now we've got a third league called the League of Lazarus, and I have no idea where they're going with that, but we also get Damian's new look. So yeah, come check this out. It's pretty darn good. But again, I see everything Batman with a set of rose-colored lenses. It's hard for me to get hard on Batman. Next is Lambert, Box, and Angulo, and this is created by Joss Whedon, Ring of Fire. Wow. Wasn't his name on the list of people before this? It was Whedon first, then Lambert, then Box, then Angulo. Did they take his name off of it and just leave it as his
I think that was name presents. I don't know.
Because if you don't know, Joss Whedon is in some hot water right now. And so I'm wondering if maybe they pulled him back off his name off this. It's crazy, and I don't want to get into it, but oh my god. Meanwhile, this Buffy run is amazing. It's outstanding, and finally, we're gonna get a big fight between Xander and Buffy. And it's funny because they say that the best friends make the worst of enemies. And God, is that true? Can I get one in my bin, please? What are you asking for, Lahaina? I missed it. What did you want in your bin? I will happily hook you up. But this one is outstanding. Guess what, guys? A certain witch is gonna go dark. If you know who that is, you know what I'm talking about. And oh god, any episode with her as dark is always my favorite. Swamp Thing? Okay, we got you, Lahaina. Swamp Thing. No.
Buffy too?
That's exactly what I was thinking, man. Hold on.
Starts with a W. Yeah, we're getting dark version of her. I don't want to spoil it, but it's outstanding. God, it's good.
I know my Buffy.
So yeah. If you know your Buffy, you'll know that this is amazing. This issue in particular was really, really, really fun. Again, wasn't bored. The art is really good. The storyline's great. And I'm saying this as somebody who jumped in here mid-event. I didn't read the last 2 or 3 issues and somehow wasn't confused at all. If you're a Buffy fan, you should absolutely jump in on this, and you will have a good time. Next is Wells, Segovia, and Curiel. Okay, look, this is the redemption story here. This book I've been really hard on. This is Hellions, and for good reason. It's felt kind of like a mess, and I didn't quite understand the point of this team in particular. They're just sort of the damage team that you send to really mess something up. And they do seem perfect for that. I mean, you've got Wild Child on it, and led by Mr. Sinister. It seems like a team that's just prone to messing things up. So yeah, that's what you get here. The art is really good. The last time we saw the team was pretty much being brainwashed by, I can't remember that character's name. The Puppet Master? Is that his name? No, that's not his name. It doesn't matter. The character's not one of my favorites. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Cam, what do you think is the worst possible idea that you could ever do in anything tied to Krakoa? There's a couple of really bad ideas. But one of them stands out in particular. Torturing Mr. Sinister to get what you want seems like the stupidest play of all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I would think that Magic on New Mutants would do.
Right? Maybe like a wild card might do that, but I gotta tell you, if you're a bad guy and you're torturing Mr. Sinister, like you're essentially you're punching up, man, and he's gonna punch down on you is what's gonna happen. So that's what you get in this. I take back everything I said about the Hellions run. I did say that the Hellions run was kind of a mess and a little boring and this and that. I am fully on board after reading this issue. I had a really, really good time with this issue, and you absolutely will too. It is not my pick of the week for Marvel, but I had a good time. And Hellions, Jesus Christ, you're coming along. Next is, well, I can't read the writers on this. Tamaki and Tar, and then who did the cover? Bengal. So weird too. You said it was. Didn't you say
Jim
that?
Martell do the variant.
This is the variant?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is the variant. This is Overwatch, Tracer, London Calling. Now, I like video games. I love video games, but I hate video game comics, and the crew knows this. So today, I was not in the room, and they snuck this in my box.
Because we didn't think he'd actually do it. Did it.
So I read it. What do you get in this story? Well, you get a Jim Bartel cover if you pick up the variant, and that alone is worth the price of admission because I love everything Jim Bartel. However, the art in this book it's okay. It's a little too cartoony and at times didn't quite feel like they fully committed. But it's okay. I mean, I guess as far as video game brands go, it's okay. The story is, well, it's weird. It's a mess. I'm mid-event though in this, aren't I?
Huh?
This isn't a number one, is it?
No, I think it's like number 3.
Yeah, okay. So it involves a group of people that Tracer is helping, and oh no, Tracer is out of her time powers at the beginning, and she's got to get them back and then handle the situation, and then there's a couple I don't know. It's an Overwatch story centering around Tracer and nobody else that I recognize from Overwatch. And a bunch of people that she's freeing that I don't care about. So, if you need a video game brand comic, come pick up trades of The Witcher, because this ain't it. I'm sorry.
Don't forget to tip your Witcher.
Yeah. Next is Scott Snyder, Tony S. Daniel, Tomu Mori, and man, I got to tell you, we've got a hot book in my hands right here. Really, really ridiculously good book. But I'm a little partial to books like this. This is called Nocterra, and I'm going to tell you flat out, this book, we have to talk a little bit about it because it's a number one, so we got to spoil a little bit. But Yogi, I'm going to throw this premise at you and see what you think. Mankind needs to hide at night from these creatures that thrive in the darkness, not zombies though, thrive in the darkness. So mankind has gone to like certain enclaves that they light up really bright at night. So they use like light to keep the darkness at bay. And on top of that, they've got to like this group of people travel between the different enclaves to like handle stuff. It sounds like my book.
It does.
It's the plot is eerily similar to my book. Now, I don't think Snyder would ever rip anyone off. He's amazing and a master storyteller. It's just weird how close that plot is to my book.
Just want to throw out that we got book number 2 in that series as well.
So I love this book. I'm gonna tell you flat out, I love it. But I love it because my world has a similar premise, is what I'm gonna say. And I loved it. The characters are really memorable. That it's bright and vibrant because they use a lot of LEDs in their different like cities to sort of keep the darkness at bay. Which also they start talking about like one of the cities that fell. They're like, but they were just functioning last week, which is like a running trope in my book about Clovis.
Yep. Well, and then are you telling me they're gonna have hip hop in there too?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was just weird. Like it was like I was like reading a comic book version of my
second I heard you describe it, I was
and I was like,
okay.
I loved this. So again, anything Snyder puts his name on, of course, it turns out to be good, and the art is just mind blowing. And I wanted to know so much more about these characters, so don't skip it. Rush out and buy it. It's great. I loved it. I heartily endorse this. Come get Nocterra. And oh God, it involves the world being covered in darkness. Now I've spoiled the title, Nocterra. Get it? There you go. Next is Keanu Reeves, Matt Kint. Is it Kint or Kint? I never know. Ron Garney, Bill Crabtree. Okay, look. The art is amazing. The art is outstanding. The story, we'll get to that. It's Berserker. Everyone's been going crazy about this comic because they're like, Keanu did this comic. Is it good? Go out and get Keanu's comic. Is it good? Yes, actually, it's outstanding. Did Keanu write this?
He was part of, yeah. Apparently, he was there every step of the way from illustration all the way through writing. So this is as much his project.
Okay.
Not just a name.
Okay. So we're going to talk about this for a second. We're going to spend a little time on it. The art fit it. This story, I have to spoil a little bit of it by talking about it. I don't want to spoil too much, but this is Keanu is a soldier, a mercenary, and he will do anything to get the job done. By anything, I mean like he would rip off parts of his face and like smash his body through different stuff. And the reason being is, well, he's immortal, and why he's immortal is not quite clear. And there's going to be a lot of mystery to this story, but that's the premise of it. And it's great. I think I'm saying this as from a soldier's perspective. Like I think that a super soldier story like that is something that we've kind of dreamed of. So it's a great story. It's fun. There's so much action, and really I think there's a lot of action because I'm anticipating this is eventually going to be a movie, and I think we can all agree that it's probably going to be a movie. And I would love to see it. There's just enough mystery. Believe me, I haven't spoiled everything for you. There's just enough mystery that it's going to whet your appetite. The action is perfect. The story is fun. I liked the narration. I like the main character's inner monologue and how he handles situations. It's great. Honestly, great. As far as openers are concerned, it's a good opener. The art is really good. You know what it feels like? It feels like the Punisher art from Rosenberg's run.
Yeah.
Like at times it feels like that. It's not quite as in your face, but the action just fits. It fits perfect. So again, this is a must buy, and I'm going to label this our indie pick of the week for sure, without a doubt. Boom Studios knocked it out of the park. Keanu knocked it out of the park. I loved every second of it, and you will too. Next is Aaron. I'm just going to do it, okay? I'm going to do it. Aaron and Garen. I know his name is not that. It's like Garon or something. Aaron and Garen and Curiel. And we're talking about Enter the Phoenix Part 4, The Avengers. Now, again, I'm going to preface this by saying if the Avengers were doing the King in Black stuff right now and they followed with the Phoenix stuff, I would be way more enthusiastic about this. I'm not. Because I'm waiting to see what the Avengers do during King in Black. I'm not that invested in this Phoenix stuff. But maybe they're going to bust out the Phoenix Force on. Did you consider that? Maybe that's what's...
Well, I mean, you got light versus dark.
Yeah. But we found out something in the last issue that we can finally talk about that I couldn't talk about before this. And it's that Thor might actually be the son of the Phoenix Force. The 10,000 BC Phoenix. That means that the 10,000 BC Phoenix Force, the redhead, was knocking boots with old Odin.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, it is Odin. Is it good? Yes, it's great. We're gonna see Thor coming to terms with what that means in this. We're also going to see a bunch of Phoenix fights, and who it winds up being versus in the very end. It makes sense to me that it would be these two. I was shocked, but it made sense to me. They both kind of feel like alternate versions of the Phoenix, one way or another. Like I would say that character felt sort of like the future other Phoenix Force character that we know happens in Thor. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
A little more brutality. And then the other character felt like, the wise Jean Grey Phoenix Force of old. So it makes sense, I guess you could say. So I'm interested in it. We're discussing it. It's definitely worth reading. It just, again, feels like a missed opportunity to not have this on King of Black right now. That's all I'm going to say. Is it bad? No. Jason Aaron's writing it. You will absolutely have a good time. It's worth the price of admission. Next is the King in Black Handbook. We need to discuss something here, and I'm going to spoil this a little bit. So this is the King in Black Handbook. It's going over all things King in Black and referencing stuff. However, we know that currently in the King in Black mythos, the Hive can be cracked open and characters can be reborn. Sort of. We've got Flash Thompson in the form of a symbiote dragon. Sort of, some of the symbiotes are coming back. Now, what I'm going to tell you is this handbook mentions Sleeper, but you know who else this handbook mentions? What's his name? Tel-Kar. The guy lobotomized by Sleeper. Now, was that the guy that Captain Marvel was dealing with during the Captain Marvel run? That looked like Sleeper, that we were like, that's Sleeper. Is that not Sleeper? I never got the wrap-up on that.
That's the Tel-Kar was the one from First Host, right?
Yep. The one that Sleeper lobotomized.
Just use his body.
So I'm guessing he's back because it references him and it shows this picture, and that's the thing. Yeah, it looks like Sleeper, but that's the thing that was torturing Captain Marvel. I never got the wrap up on that event. Ooh, man, I need to go back and reread it. But Tel-Kar's in this, so what I'm wondering is Tel-Kar being brought back to life? Like when they crack open the Hive and like Flash Thompson being reborn. Hopefully Grendel got caught though, right? So Grendel might be done because Null got him. But hopefully the other symbiotes are going to be reborn. But then that means that the bad stuff's going to come back too, right? Like Phage, who gave up her life to resummon Carnage, she's going to come back. So a lot of the bad crap. What? Man, so that might mean a lot of stuff. We're going to be seeing, I think, the Green Door in Hive form, and we're going to, like, what if this thing ends with, like, just pretty much all the symbiotes coming back to life? Like, just spiders cracking out of a nest. Man.
I awaken for a future crossover with a certain scene.
Maybe. Anyways, so is it good? Well, I mean, if you haven't been paying attention to the King in Black stuff, come pick it up. It'll catch you up. I don't think it's necessary, and it's not exactly a comic. It's just sort of like details on stuff. But you might find a nugget of something like I did where you're like, wait a minute, this character I haven't seen in a minute. Are they going to be making an appearance? Are they going to be coming back from the dead? What does this mean? Next is a horror book that I honestly liked and didn't think I would. This is Daniel Morisi, Hickson, Russell, and Campbell. I jumped in on the plot. I think I read the first one, and then I skipped until the last issue. And then I read this one, which is the final issue. And I got to tell you, as far as horror books are concerned, this one is really, really fun. And the ending, although we've kind of seen stuff like this before, wasn't bad by any means. It felt like how a horror movie should end. So if you're a horror buff and you're not reading the plot, you're missing out here. This is a really, really good book. And the ending of this felt oddly fulfilling for somebody who hadn't read, like, I guess, issues 2, 3, and 4. So, yeah, come pick it up. It's great. And the art is really good. I got to tell you, as far as, like, good brands are concerned, Vault has really come a long way. Like, I'm paying a lot more closer attention to the Vault books these days because they seem to be darn good. So we'll have that on our shelf. Next is, it's a King in Black book, but is this Peach Momoko? This is the Momoko variant. You guys gave me a variant on this.
Oh, yeah.
Tini Howard, Lucino Vecchio,
Stormbreaker.
And this is the Stormbreaker, Peach Momoko, Wiccan, and Hulkling variant, which that cover alone is definitely worth buying this book. What do you get in this? Well, you get Hulkling and Wicca are kind of on their honeymoon, and then Null attacks, and they got to deal with that. Meanwhile, Hulkling is sort of the king, not sort of. He's legitimately the emperor of Kree and Skrull empires, right? He still is. Yeah, so there's a lot of that. You get a little bit of interstellar intrigue, some politics back and forth. Anything with Wicca in it is great by my standards. I love Wicca as a character. So am I saying Wicca? I'm saying Wiccan. I'm pronouncing his name wrong, and I'm saying I love him as a character because I'm mixing up the religion with. Yeah. So anything with Wiccan is what I like. It was actually fun, but I have to tell you that as far as like the King in Black books, this one just felt like an excuse. It was like, oh hey, symbiote dragons are here. Let's go fight them now. Okay, we're fighting them now. Like it was just an excuse to throw them into it.
Yeah.
It felt like, but that's yeah. What would you say?
I 100% agree.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't necessary to me. It felt like they could have been telling this story at the end of Empire. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So it's fun. I had a good time with it, but it just felt like an excuse to sort of shoo them into the story. So if you don't want to spend the extra money on that, I wouldn't blame you, but I don't think you'll be disappointed. And if you do, definitely pick up the Peach Momoko cover because it's amazing. Next is Rosenberg and Ferreria, and this is Thunderbolts. Now, Rosenberg is one of my favorite action writers that I feel like doesn't get enough love. So if you see him on Twitter, definitely say, Matthew Rosenberg, you're amazing. Green Machine Comics says so. I love him. I loved his Punisher run. I love most everything he did. His X-Men run was okay. We'll just gloss over that. But the way he writes action is awesome. On top of that, this artist really, really fits him. I have to say that. And him writing Taskmaster of all things, like if ever there was a character that Rosenberg should write because of dry humor, it's Taskmaster. And he's kind of seems to be like playing well against like Star. Like they make good jokes and almost seem like a power couple to me. So I want to know where that's going. But this current Thunderbolts run was outstanding. Yeah, they were sort of thrown into King in Black, and yeah, it felt like a weird excuse. Like Kingpin's like, I put together the Thunderbolts team because reasons. And here we go. And it was like, oh, okay, I guess. But it was fun. It was fun. We did get the essential of the Mean Moon Knight character in Taskmaster. It felt right. I laughed quite a few times. You will not be bored if you pick this up. Granted, it's the end of it, so I would recommend you go back a couple issues and read it. But as far as endings go, it wrapped it up in a nice bow. What is Rosenberg going to do now? Because it seems to me like he only does these short sprints and then moves on to something else, which is kind of sad. I wish they'd give that guy a brand and just let him go nuts with it. Wait, they did. That was Multiple Men, wasn't it? Who wrote Multiple Men? Was it Rosenberg? I think it was Rosenberg. Anyways, and Multiple Man is one of my favorite characters, so just leave it there.
I love we're gonna get like a Dylan Brock.
A Dylan Brock minis? Oh, if Rosenberg did that, I could see that. I could see that. That's our show for this week. We have nothing else to report, do we?
Oh, we got a little bit of the shaft on today's shipment.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got to tell you guys this. We didn't get Fear Case number 2. We didn't get Demon Days variant cover that we all really wanted. We didn't get a Bartel Avengers cover, and we didn't get all of our Berserker. So we don't have our 50 incentive variant. For whatever reason, we submitted the order, and Diamond Comics did not give it to us. So we're kind of annoyed because Diamond's comeback is bigger than their setback. They maybe something got lost in the sauce. I know they just closed their Tennessee branch, so maybe things got messed up. But it felt like we lost like a good $200 worth of books that we wanted. And more than that, because that 50 copy incentive for Berserker would have netted us like a couple hundred. So I'm a little mad at them right now. So whatever. But DC Comics, on the other hand, with Lunar, they haven't messed up. I think they messed up once. We were missing one comic in a year of doing working with them. One comic.
We got all of these extras that we never even asked for. Too.
Oh yeah. Well, let's not show those.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Diamond Comics just keeps dropping the ball on us, and we're sorry. We hate to let people down. But it is what it is.
That's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like we're letting people down for that. I'm sorry, guys. But anyways, we will see you next week. You guys have fun. Stay safe. Please remember to mask up. I'm going to put my mask back on right now. And we love you guys. 5G Karen repellent. Take care.
Bye, Amelia. Bye, Sabrina. Love you guys.
Oh, bye, Amelia. Bye, Sabrina. Bye, Mason. No, you're good.